Welcome everybody, one and all, to our D2CL coverage for the evening. We've only got one set of two games coming our way tonight, and that is going to be Team Empire going up against virtus.pro. I'll be your English caster for this evening, doing the matches. I'm also joined by my stats man. That is going to be Nahaz, already sitting inside the game, waiting for probably me to arrive and panicking that I'm not actually talking yet, because it's been a very busy afternoon here in the Join Dota offices. But hey, I'm looking forward to sitting down and to say almost relaxing to cast a game of Dota 2, but there ain't no relaxing. We got Team Empire versus virtus.pro. Team Empire been looking pretty solid of late. I know we cast one of their games last night, and it was well, I was okay with it, but we were definitely being a bit harsher last night than we normally were. Shout out to the guys over in the Join Dota forums that wish to discuss that as well. But yes, we were rather like Empire. They played solid draft. They knew what was coming. They played really well up against Alliance. A couple of positions where you could say maybe they're a little bit out of position, but either way, when you look at it, you go, okay. Team Empire still, they came through, they got themselves some, I'm not going to say great results last night, because still, they ended up going, as far as their game up against Alliance, it was still a 1-1 result. But Team Empire, I'm still a massive fan of this roster. Resolution, great to see him back in playing solidly, back in the Team Empire lineup as well, and Solo's really gelled with the lineup too. And as far as the virtus.pro lineup, these are the guys who literally, like, you can put me on top of a church, give me a backing choir, and I would sing the praises of virtus.pro. Until recently, where they kind of like dropped off and lost their way. They moved from this pushing lineup that everyone just started to get used to them actually being pushed by other lineups, and then they tried to adapt to it by going back to what was almost TI4 meta and trying to get Razors and Vipers and Voids and Crobuluses and get a combination with them straight from the get-go, and it kind of all just fell apart for them. So I'm really hoping VP can kick back up again, because, well, the more high-quality teams, the more teams which would be able to perform in the European and CIS scene and US scene, the better the games we get to cast as well. As far as the standings go, before we actually break down the draft of what's going on, so Team Empire currently sitting with 3 wins as well as 1 loss. That's not the 2-game series, as in they've won 3 series and they've lost 1 and there's a draw somewhere. That's how many games in total they had. So Team Empire had a full win, which was a 2-0 victory. That game they were able to take over Team Tinker, and then they also had the draw up against Team Alliance. With that, it puts them into 2nd position, tied with Power Rangers, who are 3-1. And as far as virtus.pro go, they are 1-1, drawn with a 5th with Na'Vi currently, as both these teams have played 1 series and got a draw. We do actually have our Na'Vi game for the D2CL coming up tomorrow night. They'll be playing up against Fnatic. So Fnatic, who played their earlier game today, I remember Holy Master complaining about lack of Ghost Scepters, but if you guys were watching that game, then props to you all. You're probably watching it over on Join Dota Red, which I believe is now into its 3rd game. So Fnatic versus X Game is currently going over on JD Red. So hey, Join Dota pumping out multiple streams tonight for your viewing pleasure. But let's get into our draft. So far, Team Empire been allowed to get the big combination. I was spouting out Void and Crob and Razor and Viper and all that kind of jazz before when we're talking about the potential drafts. And with the face of Void and Crobulus, it's the perfect chrono into long hold, basically, to allow the X system to do work. That's what you're really looking for with that combination. And then you add an Earthshaker into the mix. Heroes like Razor hate Earthshaker. They want to be able to chase freely after their targets, but putting a rock wall as well as a chrono down makes this very, very difficult to do. And how does VP respond to it? They try and get a hero which is a little bit tankier, harder to force the issue, but both Razor as well as Dragon Knight are very capable of surviving through chronos, which are pumped out by Team Empire. And the Skywrath Mage also makes some space for that by throwing down the Mystic Flare. So in the early stages, if you go Skywrath not caught inside the chrono and you manage to get his level 6 early, then you're going to be able to zone the faceless Void out a little bit by spamming your nuke to the Skywrath Mage. So your Mystic Flare gets them away from the hero inside the chrono, and then Concussive as well as Orb Shot make sure they don't just stay around and wait for it to wear off. They make sure that, yeah, you're going to have to, like, if you're going to commit, like, you're going to take a lot of damage. So until Void's tankier, he can't really deal with that. And a Wisp pickup here by Team Empire. That's actually probably more of a block pick than anything else. Considering VP did this last night. That's how they beat, that's how they beat Alliance, wasn't it? scratching my... No, that's how they beat Tinker. That's how they beat Tinker, because that was the game last night. Yeah, they actually ran a very similar line to this. If they got the Wisp as well, the only last piece of the puzzle would have been the Darkseer. So I got a funny feeling Mags is doing this as a semi-block pick. It also works for them because now Team Empire will switch their lineup up. Expect John to ban out the Gyrocopter in this scenario. It won't really matter that much. Oh, wow, they actually do a great job as well. They realize they're going to win on economy now, because the Wisp was selected. Kind of trying to force Team Empire's hand, which technically Team Empire could still do. The Gyrocopter is the last hero which normally Team Empire like to run in combination with the Wisp, but the combo which VP Team Empire trying to block was the one that they beat Team Reno Tinkerino with last night. And they were just unkillable. Like when the Wisp was able to tether up, the Darkseer was able to get a good quick mech over. That was Seedoy doing that. Actually, was it BZZ was able to pick up the mech, and Seedoy was the man running around getting decent initiations off, and then Iron Shell damage onto the DK and the Razor. So you couldn't have anyone coming close. In that game, it was heroes like Brewmaster that was having the trouble. And there you go, John. He knows them well enough to ban that out. At the same time, the Clockwork's going to be taken out. They're removing the Initiator. You could still look at this and say, well, we'll just pick up a... No, Batrider is removed. Clockwork's taken out. Prophet Bristleback. Yeah, actually, that offlane's really shut down. Tidehunter Centaur was also banned out by VP, so they were trying to ban out Empire's offlaners. That might come to bite him in the butt.
10 seconds remaining.
And I'm also interested to see if Team Empire want to try and mix things up and put the Death Prophet up to the top lane. Knowing you're up against a Razor as well as a DK, you'll know that Death Prophet as well as Faceless Void probably don't have the damage output required to get through both the DK and the Razor until Death Prophet gets really high up in the levels, but that still requires a large amount of momentum to come the way of the Death Prophet so she can power level up, and then you get your level 2 ultimate up, exorcism up as fast as you possibly can. Wow, English taking some time before it kicks in tonight. So Team Empire, their last selection, they knew the Gyro was going to be banned out, but they knew also they'd have to force themselves into this kind of position. So they need something else. I want to see a damage dealer, someone that can really fight up against them, and that'll do the job. Okay, so we actually get a third tanky hero that can also turn the power of the DK around, aka Replicant. And there's something that really gets rid of that either. They don't really have a Scythe of Ice hero. And VP don't have... Like, they're really lacking initiators. They got the Silence from the Skywrath Mage and the Black Hole from the Enigma, but that means getting a Blink Dagger onto Enigma, and it might force a different build coming out from God on the Dragon Knight. As I talk about no initiators, you can build Shadow Blades into the Dragon Knight, or you could go into Blink Daggers, but both of those abilities, both those items, it doesn't really set them back that much either. You want to have health behind you, but things like a BKB isn't going to be helping you in this game. Like, the Silence isn't going to really stop you, because more than likely you're going to be a Dragon form by the time the fight begins anyway. And the Earthshaker Fissure your Echo Slam, that could be a problem, but you're normally tanky enough you can deal with that. So this might even be one of these games where you build into a Halberd to go up against the Faceless Void and disarm him before the Chrono is able to get off. And that'll give you, like, already your maim, as well as the ability to have some extra strength. So I'm interested to see how that works. Because then you can Shadow Blade as well as Halberd, but... It's an unusual build for a DK. Most prefer to go with the BKB, but in this game, I think he's going to need... Well, again, the more amount of life points he has, the better it's going to be when Morphling replicates him. And Elder Titan selection. Alright, so this is a fun offlane hero for Seedoy to grab. And I'm interested to see how effective it's really going to be. Up against the Earthshaker, Elder Titan will have no problems whatsoever. He'll zone him out from the very, very start. Because it's an Earthshaker up against an ET. Like, you can't beat the phone book. And then the Wisp, well, he's just meant to be buffing up and protecting here. They should probably change the lanes around and run Morphling in the mid up against the DK. And even if it is a Razor in the middle lane, then you'd still actually do that. Because the Morphling waveform away is going to work for you. The only problem they would probably have is if that is going to be... actually, it could just be a Razor on the safe lane. And Faceless Void would just have to be careful. I know that's not really the greatest way you go into a game saying, well, just be careful now and you'll survive. No, that's not what we're really hitting at here. What we're hitting at is the fact that Team Empire just want to try and get the best lanes they possibly can. And the ability to shut down Static Link is a big, big perk. So they need to try and be able to have a hero that will have no problem if he gets Static Linked. We have ourselves a bit of a moment while we're missing our VP captain to be selected. So yeah, just a quick reminder, we've got more games coming up tomorrow night. We've only got one game from the D2CL North American division, so we've just got we actually have a Trip Na'Vi set for the joint Dota streams. So we have ESL 1 over on JD Red, and then we have Na'Vi Fnatic, and then Na'Vi versus Sneaky Nick's Assassins, I believe, is all happening tomorrow night. There was one of the games cancelled, and I'm fairly certain it was the second one, which was DD versus Not. But I'll have a quick double check of that one a little bit later on. And then we'll have the North American D2CL continues at 22:30 on Thursday night, going into Friday morning if you're over here in Europe. And if you're over in America, it's at a little bit more of a reasonable time. It's for the East Coast at least, it's in the early afternoon for you. For the others, it'll be, I don't want to say around, actually it'll be closer towards midday. So maybe while you're having your late lunch at work, you could just pop up your phone and have a bit of a looky. Now, into our lanes. So who have we got? We could always want to fly as the Earthshaker. No surprise there. One of the greatest roaming supports out there. Always miss his support, Marana. Silent will be the Death Prophet up on top lane. So they're going to give him the space there, and that does give Resolution the Morphling with Solo in the middle lane, playing as the support role Wisp. And then Mag faces Void off lane. Couple of tangos out, shield and healing salve. So no easy harassment. I say easy. You got yourself a Skywrath Mage, but you see Jodham's build on the Skywrath Mage. He went smoke first with Observer Wards, and only he shared the 2 tangos and got only 2 clarities. If you were planning to stay in the lane and not back up from the lane, then you'd be looking at 4 clarities, or at least 3. That would allow you to try and battle up against whoever you wanted to. Off lane will be Sigdoy as the Elder Titan, middle lane will be God as the DK, Enigma Jungle, played by Yol, and that leaves our last one, who has, well, not disconnected out, it's BZZ, and was the final one, as we just lost God for some apparent reason. Yeah, it'll be BZZ playing up the role as the Boots First Razor, so really wanting to make sure every single time Mag thinks he's going to get close enough to get experience, the static link comes on, and you go 300 movement speed versus a 345 movement speed. You're forced time walk out every single time, and when that's on cooldown, you're not going to see this Faceless Void really be able to do anything in the lane. He has to back up, stack Ancients, and there's no second alternative for him. He can't just go into the jungle and farm up there. He has to stay in the lane. So we're back into the fight as our reconnection has happened, and we have Illusion Rune for Always Wanna Fly. Attempted denial from the Skywrath Mage, is all that really was. Solo is probably, like, his primary goal, as he's already done it. He's cleaned up this creep wave here. This will allow him to double stack these camps multiple times. And because of that, Resolution can either waveform it, or you can get Silent going high level Crypt Swarm, and he'll also flash farm it. So this is really going to be about Empire's chrono timing, as well as having the money and levels on the supports behind him. So we're talking about too with like Mag versus BZZ. Mag won't want to use Time Walk at this early point, because if he uses Time Walk in the first levels, then it's just going to be a waste of mana for him. Now, it's some nice stolen damage there, but at the same time, he kind of knows that level 1 static link isn't something which he has to time walk for. A level 2 static link, yeah, he should be a lot more mindful about that. But he's just got to look for the extra levels. Now he might be in a little bit more trouble just because BZZ... Wait, he's trying to actually fight up against BZZ with no damage. Sorry, man, you hit like kittens. You can't do anything there. It's just because he had the creep wave with him. He thought maybe the chip damage might be enough to force the Razor back without him having to use Time Walk again, which is actually what happened. And he's going to move over and soak up a little bit of the experience. There's a dire Observer Ward that's actually, yeah, that's that vision from the Observer Ward there. So it sees when the camp's getting pulled down. So Mag is capable of leeching while this is happening. Meanwhile, in middle lane, God, not going to be the greatest lane in the world for him, but he is making the most out of it. It's even CS here. It's the fact you're going up against a bottle first, like a bottle, like quick bottle, solo. Means Resolution's able to spam out a lot of mana, and in fact he's now got his boots up too, because he doesn't have to worry about rune control. In fact, Solo's already moved up and Mag's moved down. So no matter what happens here, the rune belongs to virtus.pro. Unfortunately for belongs to Empire. Unfortunately for Team Empire, Mag, hope he's on his mark. Actually, he can see him there. Yeah, he can definitely see him there. A time walk up, he's got backtrack first level. He's just saving it for Solo to come down. And if Jodham wants to try and contest this, he would just pounce himself up. But it's more important to give that Wisp the bonus damage, as well as the 3 bottle charges, because that allows the Morphling to be more aggressive on the lane. This time Mag won't hold back on the Time Walk. He's got enough mana for another one, and the creep wave's pushing it under the tower, so he doesn't have to worry about the cooldown timer on that one. Hello, middle lane. Watching that DD rune of Solo go to work very early on, and God's Force all the way back. He tried to go sticks first here. Wasn't really as effective as he would have hoped. And that bottle from God is coming back out. So he'll go back up to full life, but he'll have no bottle charges to speak of. BZZ again trying to zone out Mag. And Mag's up to level 3 now. So not doing the greatest job of keeping him out. How's the top lane looking? Elder Titan at 9 for 0. Always on a fly. He's only got 2 CS, but as we kind of went over before, he's going to not win a man fight up against the Elder Titan. It's just too much damage, as well as the potential to have that aura beam put on top of you. Will just make for a nightmare. Mag getting some lucky backtracks there. Shot him. He's hoping for more damage. No, he doesn't get the lucky backtrack, but Mag's looking for a lucky time lock. First hit, doesn't get it. Shaker, again, looking for a path in, but there's not enough damage coming out from the Death Prophet in order to get a kill on Seedoy. He'll throw the Fissure, and that'll hold Seedoy in position for at least 1 Crypt Swarm. And they just try and beat him off the lane. He's got 1 Tango left, but at the same time walking around with a Ring of Regen. And now what's going to be a full Soul Ring. It can make it a little bit more difficult to be as aggressive as he's being in the lane, because you can throw down more spirits, but you do more damage to yourself. Oh, that's a nice swipe rune. Unfortunately for Solo, he doesn't get to take it. He doesn't care. He's done the stacks. He's done his job. For the team, at least. But Cedo is surviving on the offlane. I'm always... I understand how great it is, because you just don't want to be buying like arcane boots or anything like that on such a hero. Ooh, first blood, Mag, Morphling. Yeah, timing's not quite right. He got the slow on him, but Mag kind of needed to be up on the high ground up here and attack him and just hope for a time lock straight from the get-go. Because Resolution's damage right now isn't really enough to penetrate that Dragon Knight. He's got the Dragon Blood, he's got his bottle back right now, and sitting at 815 life points. You'll need a lot more than 1 time lock anyway to make that kill work. So Solo back to his stacking. Missed the timing on that one a little bit. Enigma's also living life on the edge. Waiting for the Wild Wing just to get himself a little bit of luck on that one. People are saying like, yo, why are you so low? And the reason why is because he's pushing himself to the limit so he can pick up his level 6. Because as long as no one's coming in here to contest him, he's okay doing this. He's going to take a nice amount of, well, not experience, but at least he'll take the gold from the Alpha Wolf camp. And this gives him boots, a TP scroll, and probably his headdress. So if they want to force the bottom lane, try and push the lane, they can do so. In fact, God's already here into the dragon form, and they'll try the push. Force a time walk, hasn't happened yet. In fact, he'll just salve up so he's ready to fight. Expect mass TPs coming in from Empire. You don't have a relocate, not yet from Solo at least. They're going to get some damage as a trade-off. They can't stop the town from dying. The Dragon Poison will tick it out. Mag was considering a jump in, but yeah, even with the mass TPs, they couldn't stop it because there's no Chrono, and there's no Exorcism from Silent. He's got a lot of farm on him, but the experience levels for Silent are not really that great. And now VP are forcing the issue even further. There's still no relocate on the Wisp, so if Morphling and Wisp are going to go there, it'll be very obvious. They'll be spotted out by this Observer Ward. At the same time, Solo's got to head down there because there's a regeneration rune in the bottom river. And he doesn't want this getting sniped out by someone like DK with his bottle already. Because that's just even more survivability in the lane, and, well, what he doesn't want, it's about to happen. God's going to take the regeneration rune. And this is putting VP in a really good position. Overall, they're winning gold and experience. They've taken the bottom tower, but more importantly, they're running the jungler really efficiently. And they're looking for first blood. The Link is there. He can't leave himself away. Now he can. 30 life points for the Faceless Void. Able to survive. Should count himself very lucky he did. That sends him all the way back. Missed one of the Hellbears again. But the sacks can now be farmed up by the Death Prophet. And I kind of want to see this. Give the Wisp some space up on top lane. Let him get level 6 or always on a fly. Either way, don't mind. Kind of has to be probably both, or else Elder Titan's just going to dominate that lane. and they don't get any gold. They only get the experience then. But this crop has to get over here and start farming this up, because it can't be stacked anymore. They could technically give it to Resolution, so the Morphling's able to get a nice injection of money, but at the same time they could really bite him in the ass, because the Death Prop is the one that makes the place. So you want to get your 4 points up in Witchcraft, and then your level 8, your level 1 Ultimate, and just get to as close to a level 11 as you possibly can, early as you can. Even having Silence in this game is going to be really effective. Hag feels the pressure. Enigma's going to force the bottom lane with the rest of virtus.pro. Or at least with the 2 heroes in the lane. So Jottam and BZZ move forward. Jottam right now is still under the cover of smoke, so if there's any thought of a leap in by Mag, it'll be instantly, well, unthought. He's going to lose his bottom tower. Can't deny it.
Dire's bottom
it's better for him just not to die. We're 8.5 minutes in. It's good decision making coming out from both Empire and VP. VP know they can force the towers without committing in too much. While Empire know losing the towers is only one small step, and they can gain it back pretty quickly. So this is how they farm up the stack. Wisp as well as Resolution get to power level this one. Ball farm as well as wave farm. They have to go back to base though.
Dire's middle tower.
Because if they don't, well, they're going to lose their tier 1 and tier 2 tower in the middle lane now. VP are getting such a huge gold advantage. Even this flash showing from Team Empire is not going to show up at all.
Dire's middle tower.
Like, you'd think normally the graph would level up a little bit more because of like taking out double stack. It's Resolution. A very quick strength morph. We'll save him from that last orb, that concussive shot from Jottam. It's only 60 damage, but he was already pretty low when he was Agi morphed up. And Solo's trying to heal him up at the moment. Resolution only at half life. The Dragon Tail still available here for God. And the Spirits just trying to pull the creep wave off, but they've already brought this mid-tier 2 tower now down to 450 life points. So virtus.pro making very quick work of the buildings of Team Empire. Cedo's had himself almost free time on this offlane. By his treads, by his soul ring.
Is under attack.
The mech builder in this game has actually completed his as well. And a necro book. Okay. For those who were tuning in yesterday, and I'm actually going to address the forum post that was made, because yesterday it was addressed at Cap for being a little bit too negative about the Alliance draft in game number 1. And the answer can actually come in this way, where it wasn't actually Cap being negative. Cap was still actually stating pure facts. I was actually the one being the negative sod in that one. I was a little bit depressed about doing that. But it's because after you watch games like what EG did to Cloud9, you understand what these lineups are capable of. So you see right now from this virtus.pro lineup how many towers they've managed to bring down, because Team Empire tried to go 3 cores that really work well together but struggle in the early stages. So they just make the most out of the heroes they've got. The DK, good at harassing down lanes. Enigma, decent pusher. But that's all they really have. But VP see the advantages they have from these heroes, and they force it. They push the advantage. And they push it before Team Empire is ready, before the Death Prophet wants to fight. Right now, she still probably wants to have a Eul Scepter before she wants to come anywhere near this virtus.pro lineup, and there it is. So, Eul Scepter is out. That's good regeneration for her, so at least she'll almost always have the ability to have Exorcism. Well, Resolution now has his ultimate orb, but this is a Lincoln Sphere build. The only thing it's really going to stop is, wait, what, like Dragon Tail Star, but Enigma Malefice, Static Link, that's basically it. There's not that many things which will be triggered by it. Of course, it's a great regeneration and stat item, so you can't just pass it up because you're like, well, I don't have that many spells to block. Because if he just went BKB, then he'd still be controlled up. The Static Link goes through it, so the physical damage will still pound into him. And you're going to have the Enigma with his Black Hole as well, so you're still controllable on either of the fronts. But this is just going to mean, at least when he gets, if he can potentially get to his E-Blade, there's still more kill potential coming his way. So top tower's going to be pushed down. Empire cannot fight this. Solo's in no position to do so, and the heroes aren't either. Mag's still farming on the off lane. At least he has Chrono now, but Also, this is probably another thing to flag.
Dyer's
virtus.pro,
top tower has fallen.
since their Faceless Void hit level
Radiant's
6,
bottom tower is under attack.
how often have they been near here? Never. The heroes are on completely the opposite side of the map taking objectives, while the Faceless Void continues to farm up on the bottom lane. Now, this could be because of Empire's decisions of what they
Dyer's
want
top
instead.
tower
So
is
they're going to
under
use
attack.
Exorcism to take the tier 2 tower middle lane.
Dyer's structures
Both
are fortified.
teams will fortify up their
Radiant
structures.
structures
But the
are
tier 2 tower on
fortified.
top lane, there's a new creep wave coming in with Breathe Fire as well as the
Radiant's middle
plasma
tower is under
field. They can
attack.
mop up the creep waves very quickly. But Exorcism from Silence being committed, so he can't
Radiant's
come up
middle
here and
tower
fight this. So
has
VP
fallen.
knows 100% they're now
Dyer's
going to
top
take the tier
tower
2
is
tower.
under attack.
That means there's only one remaining outer
Dyer's
tower
top
for Team
tower has
Empire,
fallen.
and it's sitting at 453 life points in the mid lane. Won't take much to bring it down. Now BZZ plants a field damage solo. Relocate out. She took him back out again. Looks like they tried to snipe out the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane with a little bit of help from Hag, but they're coming back down again. Solo is hoping for any kind of room, but he doesn't have one. The Courier's bringing a Morbid Mask out, so at least that'll be spotted, but the ET Spirit's right in the back of Resolution. And he'll say, boys, just get out. We can't take the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. We've lost most of our other towers. And VP, with their big ultimates up, and almost a level 3 Necro book 14 minutes into this game. Y'all is going to be one of the happiest Enigmas in the world. VP is going to be one of the happiest teams in the world. They have a level 3 Necro book from their jungler, without having to go Hand of Midas or any of that other jazz. And yep, there it is. On the Courier, out it comes. So they have an Enigma army with the 3 levels of conversions of Necro units. You got BZZ, who actually hasn't got an ultimate yet, but he's got mech as well as his Ogre Club. So that's already enough. And with an invis room from DK, they could look for some level of initiation. But the
Dyer's
Exorcism's
middle
off cooldown in
tower
12
has
seconds
fallen.
time. They're going to lose the
Radiant's
catapult in bottom lane.
tower is under attack.
And looks like a bit of a smoke movement coming out from VP. And Empire just back up. VP already took that mid tier 2 tower again. So, all out of towers gone. 14 minutes into the game. How's Cedo looking? Drums. So the team's even got
Radiant's
chase and
top
attack
tower
speed
is
for
under
this one.
attack.
And now Silent. There's your invis initiation. With John getting a really good seal off, the Yule Scepter will send him up, but they're grouped actually pretty well for a good silence. But First Blood took
Radiant's top
14
tower
minutes
has fallen.
and 49 seconds. And this happened after all the added towers of Team Empire were removed. That's how long it took for an engagement. Y'all,
Radiant's
not actually what I was
top tower
searching
is
for
under
his
attack.
first use of Necro units, aka going in for Roshan. But he wanted to start it up already. He's got to actually get this Necro Warrior back. He's got an army of conversions that can tank up, not to mention the rest of his team, which just arrived. Now the tier 2 tower's being forced on top lane. Solo and Resolution trying to force it as fast as they possibly can. I think they realize, like, Earthshaker threw a fissure in there, so they know what's up. But they take a tier 2 tower as a trade-off, but they're going to give an Aegis the Immortal over to virtus.pro. So, how does VP react to this? Well, they can come back and defend their tier 3 tower. That is fair enough, because they're already ready to push high ground. The books have to come off cooldown in 45 seconds, so y'all might want to wait that out a little bit longer. PZZ is now 500 gold away from an Aghanim Scepter. He has his ultimate level, yay! But they want to find him that 500 gold. Which means really they can push high ground with the Aegis the Immortal in the hands of the DK, who's already pretty hard to kill off. He goes for a Shadow Blaze. And this is what I was also talking about with the initiation required from VP. He had an Invis rune last time around. All silent. He could pay the ultimate price for this. He's then very, very close. And the Elder Titan, he can just Spirit and Stomp. And if he does that, but yeah, there's his Stomp. Always on a fly. Almost getting caught by that too. The Yule Scepter sends it up in the air now. Death Prophet did kill off the tower. But she's got the movement speed. She's away. With Always on a fly while Empire are forcing out the top lane. This is working for them. They're getting better trade-offs here. And VP with this Aegis the Immortal, all they want to do is just 5 men and go high ground. That's what they want to do. But they're being pressured on the top. And again, they're going to be forced to fall back here by Team Empire. And this isn't a game of kills. This is a game of posturing and understanding who's going to have the better trade-offs on the map. And right now, even though they do lose Roshan, Team Empire are getting the better trades. They're taking more towers. They're getting Crobulus into a position where Silent's actually a real contender. It's a level 2 ultimate from him now. And Morphling also having a crap ton of farm. He's got a Lincoln Sphere recipe flying out in the courier at the moment, but still has another 1,300 gold. So if they keep this up, he could actually just buy his Yasha shortly. And that's going to be, well, huge for him. It looks like the mech is going to be built by Solo. Probably Team Empire thought they may not even get to a point of having a mech. Hello, bottom lane. Midnight Pulses. Catching out Silent, though, is really difficult. With Rod of Aoi as well as Yule Scepter, he's got so much control over the enemy that they can't break free of. So this DK, for example, like, he could just get completely kited in the team fights. Even if he's in dragon form, he can get completely kited. Alright, so looking to high ground now. I don't really have the full power, though. Cedo is not available. And he needs to be part of this. Like, that spirit needs to be on the high ground at all times. Trying to make Empire fight from not in these positions next to their tower, but fight from back on this arc. And just be fearful, because that's where the spirit could just walk up. So you got to walk all the way from there to get to this point to attack. Which means you're in range for chip damage. Resolution's playing with Cedo. He can't get the kill just yet because there's not enough damage on the back of the Morphling. Solo. They're going to go in. He's going to try and save his teammate. The Silent's going to be over there. The Yule Scepter over on the Krob. Silent. Malphus done up. They commit the Black Hole, but always want to fly. Breaks it free. Now a follow-up Silence from Silent. And he'll actually trigger the ultimate. Yol knows he can't fight that one. Echo Slam with the extra damage. Yol, he's going to go down. And a Chrono from Mag. Solo's going to relocate in, but then he tended himself into the Chrono. John's already gone down. Solo, well, he will tick out from this one before he's capable of being able to get himself away to safety. But Resolution, well, Mag leaves himself away. It's a good trade-off for Team Empire. They managed to get a buyback by the Wisp. They take out Necro units. Well, Krob did end up dying, but one was really lost by them. Actually, not that much for VP when you consider how much of an advantage they already had as far as money goes. My Team Empire, that fight went a lot better than I thought it was going to. And really, I thought we'll be calling GG after that. With the way they came out, with the fact that Solo died, the fact that Enigma basically got caught here in no man's land. Like, this is like the area he did not want to be. Because Krob was just able to whisk herself down into the tree line here. And because of that, the Exorcism did its work. And the Earthshaker positioning from Team Empire, like right here. It was a perfect fissure line. So the black hole got cancelled after maybe 0.2 of a second with the channeling time. Exactly the way that Team Empire wants these plays to play out. Alright, is that Solo's mech now? No, he's just got the buckler on the headdress. Obviously, with buyback, I can't be saying, hey, that's going to be fantastic. But yeah. I like Solo's attempt to save his teammates. He doesn't... Wait, what? I kind of want to see Silent do that again. His character model looked like this then. Maybe my eyes were just a little bit laggy. But it looked like it didn't turn to throw the Crypt Swarm behind him. Like, he threw it underneath the hero. I know you used to be able to do things like this with, oh, what was actually... It went both ways, too. God, if I had clairvoyancy, I'd be like, man, that's a Warcraft 3 thing. It works this way. Then it might have actually been this. Basically, you cast the ability on basically the feet of your hero, and it spams out the other way without you having to turn, or it went both ways at the same time. Which was, yeah. Somebody, please, tweet me what I might be talking about. W1 Dota, make it happen. Alright, God's coming up for initiation again. Sega's Immortal doesn't really have long left on it. Really not long left on it. So, God might be happy with this one. While up on top lane, Resolution, he just made a replicate of Solo. And the Spirit's coming out. They're trying to force him to come back. And there's that reclaim. So God loses the Aegis, the Immortal. But this top lane pressure from Team Empire, their split push is working perfectly with the Morphling. For a game of 22 minutes with only 6 kills, it's been a, it's been a ride, really. TP's out at the moment. But just because it's been a fun movement, and now that's the reason why. Relocated in Mag. The Chrono gets to go. Resolution trying to save the waveform so we get in front. Missing Flare! Well, Mag's going to be stuck here for the moment. Morphling jumped out the replicate. He thought that the Mag would be able to get himself away with just the relocate. And now into the Assassin Time Walk and TP scroll back out again. But a Whisper and Elder Titan, well worth it. Silent, however, the Black Hole being committed and a lot of damage being drained out by BCC. He triggered the Eye of the Storm as well. He wanted that Death Prophet dead very, very early on. So with no Elder Titan, there's 2 heroes that can consider pushing at the middle lane, but there's still no BKB over on Razor. So he may not feel comfortable enough going high ground just yet. But knowing the Chrono's on cooldown, that may make up for the lack of BKB. No Death Prophet, she can buy back. But no Chrono, no Death Prophet. That's a ticket to walk all over the dire side of the map. They already leave aggressive observer wards behind, so they can watch the movement, but always on a fly and Resolution. His replicate's running back. Unfortunately for always on a fly, he won't be so lucky. He jumps in, Echo Slam, Fissure, Totem Stomp, but Shadow Blade wins out for God. Doesn't really have a lot of mana to play around with, but he came out, attacked once, Dragon Tail, and always on a fly is trapped here. He's got Blink Dagger in a moment. They're going to keep attacking him, however. 2 seconds. 1 second, not going to happen. In the trees, and Resolution will bail out. Jumps back to the replicate. And Solo. He was considering a relocate save, but he would have had to sacrifice himself to save the Earthshaker, and maybe not really worth it. Earthshaker's already got what he was searching for, which was the Blink Dagger. Faceless Void. Found him. Relocate's being used. They're coming in. They need some extra help. It's going to be Resolution again. Waveform up, and they'll have enough damage to bring down Seedoy. And Solo can take him straight back again. That's the Meg Charge as well as Wisp was the one who was able to get the last hit in. So much needed 300 gold being pumped into him. And Team Empire are fighting back. They've still got a long way to go. The experience is only mildly the way of virtus.pro. But the 8,000 gold advantage they had is starting to whittle away. That last remaining gold can, well, once the tier 1, tier 2 towers in the mid and the bottom go down, and potentially a Roshan the way of Empire, as VP have lost their map control. They can't always assume they'll be able to claim Roshan. That's the maximum spawn time for Roshan. It's like Ice Rug wants this game to be delayed and dragged out further. And do you love these days, people? Gotta love these days. Just gonna say, right now, the amount of times that I can be so wrong on items and be wrong on everything else, I think casting WEC straight for so many hours has actually done me some work. So I'm just enjoying this moment because it doesn't happen a lot. That we got both a Heaven's Halberd and a Shadow Blade there, and the 5th time in over 1,500 pro games, and I called it during the draft! Yes! Woohoo! Oh, I feel good. I feel so good. I'm so glad that the Hearts could have such a BS stat come up behind me to back up my calls. Oh, I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. All right, back to the game. God, good farm for you, man. Gonna get to the other side. Breathe Fire. Could have technically gone over the entire creep wave just then. He's gonna tank up the entire thing anyway. He's got enough regeneration. With the 4 points up with the Dragon Blood, he's got so many life and armor. Way! Trouble for Razor. Got his BKB off though, and now Exorcism Resolution TP'd himself in, but maybe not the greatest thing in the world. Seedoy split it up by putting down the Echo Stomp. And now Resolution and Solo might just wait for the end of the nice fissure. End of the relocate. Take him back up to the top lane. They did manage to force all of VP to come out. Now Roshan, he is not alive yet. When I said maximum spawn time, I meant maximum spawn time. 3-4 minutes. Now up on top lane, they force the TPs back. And, well, Seedoy is not enough to stop this. He's going to try and stomp it. Resolution just able to get out of the AoE for it. Fortifications used as well. So it's a double win while the rest of virtus.pro are looking to force up the middle lane. Now Seedoy is not going to be a healthy champion right now. Waveform down. One more attack. Resolution. He can't reach him even with the buff up from Solo. Meanwhile in the middle lane, it seems like the Enigma has gone down before Chrono can be triggered. And they're looking at the Rod of Aoi over onto God. Slow him down a lot. Totem Stomp actually gonna, well, fissure as well. They kept the silence on him so he can't breathe fire, he can't Dragon Tail. And he also had Shadow Blade still on cooldown. Looks like Morphling's also able to get himself away to safety. Full BKB is up and running. They brought down the tier 3 tower. And a game that looked like it was completely in the bag for virtus.pro. Team Empire, not only did they hit their timing smacked apart virtus.pro. Now they can go for Roshan. Mag can do most of the tank work here. Resolution will come in as well. They get a full Shiva's Guard now into Silent as well, 27 minutes into this game. But without Exorcism, they still bring down Roshan at a very quick pace. And with the Aegis the Immortal into the hands of Resolution, he's completely unkillable. I'm actually wondering if they should give it to him. The one charge has been used. Mag's got no... Well, Mag can just drop his TP scroll or his Calling Blade. Now the Spirit's coming in. It's looking for the stomp. It's able to do so. The Aegis is just sitting there. And Solo, he's staying right on top of it just in cases. But they give it to the Morphling. Why I wasn't sure if they'd actually give it to the Morphling in this one is just because you have a BKB and a Lincoln Sphere over in the Morphling. He went 2 very defensive items from the get-go. So the chance of him dying is already pretty low. On the upside, if you do kill off the Morphling, it's going to take almost everything at virtus.pro's disposal to make it happen. And then he's just going to reincarnate. And they got him. Or should they? There's no replicate. God's going to start with the Dragon Tail stun. Now Solo comes in. Strength Morph starts straight away. They needed to get the seal on him. It needed to be actually a fight that happened in this region. Dragon Tail stun, seal, and Mystic Flare. Burn the crap out of him to start with, and then just back up. Be happy that you break the Aegis, and that's all they would have achieved from that. And now they can't even do that. The problem with having Solo arrive, the second that Wisp comes in, like VP know it. Like they did it up against Team Arena, Tinkerino yesterday. You have a couple of tanky heroes, and all you need is a Wisp on the back of them to make sure they survive through the fight. Which means all of these lineups which use large amounts of nukes or surprise initiations, they're nowhere near as effective as they need to be. Because you don't get the initial kill. Like the nuke and surprise initiations is all about, I get a kill, we move on to the next target. That's how the lineups work. And this scenario, that's just not there. Now, Silent. Hello, Jotum. Oh, actually, Jotum says hello to him. It's a haste-ruined Skywrath Mage with 3 urn charges. But he also knows he cannot battle up against Silent as well as always going to fly. They have more than enough control over him with Yules and Owie. Rod of Owie, that is. Which I say lovingly, it is a Rod of Atos. Always going to fly. Oh, you know he wants it. You know he wants it. Echo Slam. Fissure, which means now Silent's ulti. The whole thing hits. Oh, the Mystic Flare. Silent will come in to help tank it up. The Stomp was perfect, but that ultimate is still there from Silent. The ET Slam! Oh, Empire! Mistakes were made. Instantly regretted decisions to come in for this one. Silent, he needs a lot of space for his ulti to do some work, and Resolution can't buy it for him. BKB, the Aegis he wanted will trigger. Now Silent comes back in again, and Mag also with the ultimate. He'll hold BZZ there. Mag just leave him for Silent to finish off. And Yol, well, Midnight Pulse as well as the Necro units burning off the mana of Mag, not to mention the life points. And they're wanting to come back in again to fight. And that just shows you how strong Team Empire's cores are right now. And also that Aegis the Immortal. You thought you could take it. Holy crap, Morphling. That's actually a really inefficient way to buy your Skadi, but he has the full money for a Skadi. So he'll pick up the Orb of Venomous Wallace point booster from the side shop right now. Yep. Because the Courier was down here on the bottom lane. That's why I'm saying it's inefficient. He could have actually picked up the ultimate orbs from this guy. And then sent him up here. And then the Courier would have only had to go down as opposed to back and down. Yeah, you see it. Yeah, back and down now. Small thing. Just a small thing. And Mag's loving life. I reckon he was looking at that corner thinking, shh, I really screwed that up now. But he didn't. It was perfect. He threw it out and was like, damn, I wanted to have 2 targets and couldn't get it. Hey, I'm feeling on fire today. Let's see if we can get this one. Chat trivia time. Who are the only 2 players to break 20 kills in Pro Dota 2 matches this month? Bonus, name the heroes they played. 20 kills on 1 hero. I'm trying to think of a game of that level of domination, because most of the domination games I've seen were actually, yeah, there were games where the lanes were won. So I don't think any of these games will be the ones which I cast. So the chance of me getting this is going to be completely, like, probably 100% wrong.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'll have a think about it and come back to you. 2-3 tower. I don't think I've got this one. My vibe is over. Nahaz has beaten me. I'm being defeated. BTZ is coming high ground. Rod of Owie slowing him down. Shiva's got as well. Man, look at that movement speed just disappear. He has to trigger the BKB to break free. And now Mag, jumps out. Chrono catches on too. Both God as well as Yol. They need this Enigma down. No black hole resolution. He's still caught inside it. Yol, the Echo Slam from Fly. That gave him the space to do it. The ET will actually get the revenge kill straight away, but Resolution fighting inside the BKB. Waveforms up while Silence Ultimate. It does all the work. Point blank range on Seedoy means the intensity of the attacks is even faster. And a triple kill comes out at Empire. They get the GG call out from virtus.pro. Their top racks being attacked. The tier 3 tower in the bottom was being forced in. And Team Empire, against what looked to be really, really bad odds at the start, turns around and Team Empire take game number 1. So it was Fog, Skywrath, and Quite vs Pugner. Interesting. Somehow I think they were capped games. And I'm fairly certain I know which one of them it was, which would have been the qualifiers for MSI beat at US for the Na'Vi US game, I'm fairly certain. Alright, that's going to wrap up this game. So VP vs Empire, game number 1 is over, but our second game in the series will be coming up in just a couple of moments' time.